Hello, fourth graders. It's Mrs. Burke here. Showing you another lesson today, some new strategies that might help you with some of your math work this week. So today we're going to look at multiplying unit fractions using number lines and models. And a quick reminder, a unit fraction is when you have a fraction that has a numerator of 1. So 1/2 is a unit fraction, 1/8 is a unit fraction, 1/10 is a unit fraction. Okay? So we're going to start by modeling these fractions on a number line, these multiplication sentences. So you're going to want to have a pencil and a paper or a whiteboard with a dry erase, but we're going to do some together. I'll model a bunch, and then you'll have some time to try a few on your own. So we'll start off with this question. It says model 3 times 1/8 on a number line. Okay, so a couple of important things to pay attention to. Reading carefully, we know that we're going to have to use a number line. But the other important thing you really want to pay attention to is that denominator. So think about which number is the denominator, and hopefully you're thinking the 8. That denominator is going to tell us how many parts our number line should be split into. So we're going to show a whole on our number line. And a whole would be from 0 to 1. And since we want to show 3 times 1/8, I'm going to partition or split my number line into 8s. Couple of things to remember when making your number lines. If I'm making 8s, it doesn't mean I'm making 8 extra lines. It means I want to have 8 parts on my number line, so that actually means making 7 markings. So the 0 is my first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now if we look carefully, I have 1 part, 2, 3 parts, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my number line is now broken into 8s. And what it wants me to show is that I'm doing 3 jumps of 1/8. So let me first label my number line. This would be 0/8, which means this is 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and if we have 8/8, that's equivalent to a whole, which is why my 1 whole is my 8/8 point. So now I'm going to show 3 jumps of 1/8. I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to show 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps. I jumped 1/8 3 times, and where did I end up? 3/8. So 3 times 1/8 equals 3/8. All right, let's try another one. This one says model 4 times 1/5. So before we make our number line, I want you to think about how many parts should my number line be split into? And your denominator is going to give you that answer. So hopefully you were thinking 5 parts. So I'm going to set up a number line that starts at 0 and it ends at a whole. And it's going to have 5 parts, which is 4 markings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll prove it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. Next, I'm going to label each marking on here. So since I'm looking for 4 times 1/5, each dash on my number line is a 5th. So I'm going to start with no 5ths, 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 1 whole is equivalent to 5/5. And now it wants to show 4 jumps of 1/5. It's repeated addition. 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps of 1/5, and I land at 4/5. So 4 times 1/5, or I like to say 4 jumps of 1/5, lands me at 4/5. Okay, now you might be shown a number line, and looking at the number line, you'll have to decide, well, what was the multiplication equation? So let's look at this problem that was already done for us and see if we can figure out what the multiplication problem was. So first I'm going to pay attention to my number line and look at how many parts it was broken into, and my denominator tells me that. Fifths. And this looks very similar to the question we just did, actually. There was 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps, 4 jumps. So I did 4 jumps, those are the black arrows, of 1/5. So this would be 4 times 1/5 for that. Now it's your turn to try. So this is when you're going to want to make sure you have either a whiteboard or a paper and pencil. And I'm going to give you 2 of them to try on your own. I'll give you some thinking time and then I'll check in with you. So here's the first one. Can you model 4 times 1/6 on a number line? So think about how many parts will my number line be broken into, and then how many jumps do I need to do? So take about 20 or 30 seconds. All right, let's take a look. And remember, at any time, if I'm going too fast, you can just press pause until you're caught up. So I'm modeling 4 times 1/6. So hopefully you said, okay, my number line needs to be broken into 6 parts. So I have my arrows because number lines continue. My 0, my whole, and I'm going to split this into 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So this would be 0, 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, and 1 whole is equivalent to 6, 6. And now I have to show 4 jumps starting at 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where do I land? On 4, 6. So 4 jumps of 1/6 equals 4, 6. All right, hopefully you did well with that one. Now I'm going to show you one that's already been done, and you see if you can figure out what the multiplication sentence was. Here we go. Okay, so hopefully you looked at the number line and you thought to yourself, how many parts was my whole split into? And since my denominator is 8, I can assume that it was split into 8ths. Now I want to look at how many jumps of 8ths were there. The arrows represent the jumps. So I had 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps. So I had 3 jumps of 1/8. And if I look closely, where did I land? Right at that 3/8 that's boxed. So 3 jumps of 1/8 equals 3/8. All right, so that is modeling unit fraction using a number line. Now we're gonna shift gears a little bit and we're gonna move into models. How can we model unit fractions when we're multiplying? So here's one example. Let's say I want to multiply 2 times 1/4. And this time I'm not going to use a number line, but I'm actually going to use a model. So I'm a math teacher, so I have a lot of manipulatives, even at my own house. I know that the majority of you will not have these, which is fine, but I do want to show you how you can use fraction sticks to do this. What this is telling me is I am going to multiply or use repeated addition twice to find out 2 times 1/4, or 1/4 plus 1/4, repeated addition. And that's what this would look like. 1/4 plus 1/4. What do I have in total? 2/4. So 2, 1, 2, 1/4 equals 2/4. It's very quick when you're not using the number line. 2 times 1/4 is going to be 2/4. Let's look at another one. And this one I'll do with fraction sticks, but then I'll also just do with a model. So here I need 3 times 1/8. So what fraction sticks am I looking for? I'm looking for my 1/8 pieces, and that's these. How many of these will I need? 3. So 1, 2, 3. So when I multiply 3 1/8, I have a total of 3/8. Okay? If I wanted to do a model to show that, I could think of like pizza pies. Whenever I think of eighths, I go straight in my head to a pizza. So here, my 3 pizzas. This is if you don't have fraction sticks. You can still easily do a model. All right, my sloppy pizzas. I'm gonna need 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, because it's 1/8 3 times. What do I have in total? 1, 2, 3 pieces that are the size of eighths, 3/8. So that's how you can do it with a quick pick if you probably likely don't have fraction sticks at home. So let's try one more. Let's try 4 times 1/5. That's a 5 under there. 1/5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, it's hard to hold them up for you. But here I have 4 1/5 when I count them up. This is repeated addition. 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. What do I have in total? 4/5. If I wanted to do a quick pick, gonna draw, I'll do a little maybe like candy bar looking things. I need 4 pieces that are split into fifths. I'm going to shade 1/5 of all of these. And then all together I have 4, and they're the size of fifths. Okay? Now I'm going to show you a model, and you see if you can figure out what the multiplication sentence was. What if you saw this model? What would be the multiplication sentence that's represented by that model? So look at your whole, think how many pieces is it split into, and then how many do you have? So my whole has 4 pieces. I shaded one of them, so I have 1/4 and 1/4, or I have 2 1/4, and all together I have 2/4. 2 1/4 pieces gives me 2/4. How about this one? It's all on one whole, but my whole was split. There's that pizza. Split into 8 pieces. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 1/8 pieces, and it equals 4/8. Okay, your turn to try. 2 questions for you. First one, if you have fraction sticks, awesome. You probably don't, so just draw a picture. And we did one very similar to this. So show me what 3 times 1/4 would look like. 3 times 1/4. Okay, so I just drew my model. I knew my whole was going to have 4 pieces, and I knew I was going to have to draw 3 of them. So 4 pieces, 4 pieces, 4 pieces. I shaded 1 out of all 4 of them. So 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. 3 times equals 3/4. All right, and the last one. What is represented by this? What would the multiplication sentence be? Okay, so my whole has 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I had 1/6, 2/6. So I had 2 1/6 pieces. That's written like this. 2 pieces that were both 1/6. And all together, I had 2/6. All right, awesome job today, guys. Hope that helped you. Your IXL, that should be a nice little warm-up for you. Looking forward to doing more of these with you. I know you guys are working your butts off, and I'm super proud of you. Just try your best. Don't sweat the small stuff. If it's hard, it's okay. It will get easier. We'll practice more and more. And look for another one of my videos shortly to help you with graphing. All right? Miss you guys. Bye.